Today's agenda about Pages, Notes, and Docs. These are three very popular word processing applications. What's common, what's unique, and which to choose. And so we're going to take a look at all of the things they have in common, which is great. I mean, Docs is made by Google, and Word is made by Microsoft, and Pages is made by Apple. They're three big technology companies, and these are three really big commercial, widely used word processing applications. I'll show you some things that are common across them. So they all have free versions. Pages comes with any Apple product you buy, but there is also a free version of Pages available through iCloud.com, even if you don't own an Apple product. So if you don't own an Apple product, it is possible to get a Pages Apple iCloud account, and you can use Pages and Numbers and Keynote and several other applications as well with Apple. Word has a free version that's available through Microsoft Word on the web. It is a web-only version that's free. And Google Docs always had a free version that's available as well. And they were one of the first ones out there with free software for that kind of a tool, and that's what made them popular. So they all have a free version. They all give you cloud storage. Google's Docs are stored in Google Drive. Apple Pages are stored in iCloud, and Microsoft Word are stored in OneDrive. So they all give you a certain amount of free storage. It varies. Apple gives you 5 gigabytes. Microsoft gives you 5 gigabytes of cloud storage, and Google gives you 15 gigabytes. And it sounds like a lot, but your Gmail will use up a lot of that storage over time if you don't clean out your Gmail account, because every attachment you have uses up storage. So let's see what else is common among them. They all have some basic word processing tools. They have text styles. They have paragraph formatting. They give you tabs. They let you set margins. They give you the ability to print. They have cut, copy, and paste. They have word wrapping. So when you type to the end of the line, it'll automatically do a carriage return for those of you that remember typewriters. And they have rulers. If we were just going to replace a typewriter, we'd want to have these things, right? If we were just going to type a letter and do these things. But these are all common tools that exist with all of them. But there's more. Of course, you would expect more, right? They give you the ability to insert images, create tables of contents. They all let you export to a PDF. The Adobe developed the PDF portable document format file, which makes everything look the same regardless of what device it's viewed on. And the PDF readers are free for almost any computer or device out there. They all will do mail merge. They all have text and paragraph styles and templates. They all support tables and columns. They all support drawing. These are all pretty similar. So I don't know how many of you use any of these tools, but these are some advanced tools. They support multiple page documents. So you can have page 1 to page 100. They support different page sizes and different formats. They have the ability for you to create headers and footers. They have simple undo and redo. They have spell check and grammar tools. They have a find and replace editing tool. They let you create bulleted and numbered lists. So, any of these would do probably most of what people do every day when they're using a word processor. But of course, there's more. So they have a couple of advanced things that they do that are kind of nice too. They do dictation. They all will do voice to text. They all will give you the ability to track changes, which means that if you want to see previous versions of your document, you can do that. They all support what's called collaboration, which means that you can have multiple people working on a single document, and the software will keep track of who makes what edits and when they made them. They all have an autocorrect function, which sometimes uses AI to predict text as well. They all do conversion to an HTML file. If you want to publish a document on the web, you can export your file and convert it to HTML, and that'll keep most of the formatting. Some fonts and layouts are not supported in HTML, but it'll convert it pretty nicely for you. And it gives you the ability to import and export some file types. Now, Pages will not export to a Google Docs file type, and Docs will not export to an Apple Pages file type, but they will both import and export from Microsoft Word. And most of them will also do what is commonly called an ODT file for an open document format file. There's more in common with these tools than there is that's different. But there are some differences, and we're going to take a look at a few of them, because that's where it might make a difference whether you use one or the other and what rationale you go about to choose whether you use it. Let's take a look at what an ecosystem is. Companies like Apple and Google and Microsoft are in the business of making money, and they want to make a profit for their shareholders. And so their goal is to get you to use not just one of their products. Their goal is to get you to use as many of their products as possible. And so they make their products work best with their other product. Word works on a Mac. You can download, install on a Mac. You can download, install it on an Android. You can use it on the web. But it does some things in Windows that give it some additional capabilities. Apple makes Pages, but they don't make Pages available to run on Windows or any other platform. But they do make Pages available on the web, and they make things work in Pages that work really well with iPhones and iPads. It's kind of interesting what they do there. And then Google makes Docs, and they make Docs so it works really well with their Google Drive and other applications from Google. Makes it easy to insert and do things. So they've integrated these things. So if you're using one type of ecosystem, or you're using a lot of products in one type of ecosystem, sometimes it's just easier to stay in the same ecosystem and not worry about trying to bring in other products, because they all will do a lot of things. They all do a lot of things. And so it's more of a question of what do you really need to get done with it. And so Apple works with iCloud, iPhone, iPad, Macs, Apple Photos. Things like these are really well integrated into Pages. Media that's available, and we'll talk a little bit about that. I'll hopefully show you that. With Word, you've got OneDrive, you've got integration with PowerPoint, Excel, OneNote, Edge, and Outlook. When you use the Edge browser, there's an application tool that gives you the ability to access your Microsoft 365 apps, or Word if you're using the free version, right from the web browser, a little application icon. And then Google's great. Everything is auto-saved to Google Drive, Sheets, Keep, Mail, Gmail. You can use Chrome, works really well with Google Photos. So if you kept most of your photos in Google Photos, it's going to be easier to insert them into a Google Doc. If you keep all of your photos in Apple Photos, it's going to be easier to insert them into a Pages doc, because there's tools that are built in that the software lets you really work quickly with. So that's why these companies kind of try together these ecosystems to keep you using more of their products. Now, let's talk about some unique features that each of them have that would be a reason for using them or switching from one to another. What do they work on? Docs, it works on the web. It works on mobile devices. You can download it for both iPhones and Android, and you can use it as a desktop app. It works on Windows, Macs, and Chromebooks. It works on iPhones and Androids. Lots and lots of ways you can use it. So it works on a lot of different things. And that's one of the great things about Google Docs. Microsoft Word. Okay, Word works on web, mobile, desktop. If you get the 365 subscription, you can download and install the Windows and Mac versions. and you need the 365 version to use it on iPhone and Android. So they make the web version available for free. Obviously, you can access it from the web on any device, including an iPad or smartphone. So it works there. But if you really want the full functionality, they want you to go with the 365 subscription. Google does have some upgrades for their Docs tool that upgrades you to Google One and Google Workspace. So they have some additional tools that they give you. We'll talk about some of those in a minute. And then Apple's Pages works on web, mobile, desktop, but it only works on Apple products. If you're using a Mac, an iPhone, or an iPad, hey, Pages is great. You can do almost anything with any of them. They just do it a little bit differently in the menus. So one of the challenges in learning software is you have to learn how to do things in each software. It's a little bit different in each one. So if you want to create a column in one application, it might be different than creating it in another. So if you want to do it frequently, it's better just to do it in one and not worry about some of the other things that you might get from using a different application. But, we live in a world where, because we're individuals, we're not working in a business or a corporate or an organizational environment. A corporate or organization might say, we're going to standardize on using Google Office applications. And so you are going to use them day in and day out. Or they might be standardized on Microsoft Word, or they might be standardized on Apple Pages. Less likely they're standardized on Pages because Apple isn't used in that many corporate environments. In creative areas, they are, where people use them a lot. Document storage is a little bit different between them. And this is one of the fine points about how do you want to keep the document storage working here? Okay, so Google Docs autosaves automatically in Google Drive. When you create a Google Docs document, you're doing it in a web browser, preferably Chrome. It works a little better in Chrome. And it autosaves your document. Even if you didn't give it a title, it saves it automatically. If you want to save it on your local hard drive in your device, you have to manually save it on your local device and download it to your device. Now, you can get software that will allow you to edit it while you are not connected to the internet, but Google's Docs is a very internet connected type of tool. It's designed to work that way because it takes advantage of Google's services in the cloud. Microsoft Word, if you're using the desktop app, will save it locally, unless you click the autosave option in the toolbar. Then it will save it to OneDrive and local, but you can also make a choice. After you've uploaded a document or any file to OneDrive, you can choose whether you want to free up space on your hard drive or whether you want to keep the document in both places and keep it synchronized. Now, when you manually save to local storage in Google, it will synchronize them as well when you're connected to the internet. Apple is probably the simplest when it comes to how it saves things. It saves it both to your local hard drive on your Mac and iCloud. With Apple Pages, it uses Apple's logic to kind of decide whether it should keep it on your Mac's hard drive or whether just to keep it in iCloud. And then you can download it. If you don't use it frequently and you haven't used it in a long period of time, that Pages document might only be in iCloud. And when you click on it, it would have to download to your local drive. So Apple uses a little logic that way to keep track of things, but it automatically saves it to Pages and iCloud as well as on your local drive. Their storage strategies work a little bit differently. Microsoft Word has some unique types of features. They do have a feature for indexing, creating indexes. They are the best one if you create documents that need indexes, because they have an indexing tool built in. Google Docs does indexing, but it's not as robust. It's widely considered by not just me, but many other people in word processing, that indexing is not Google Docs forte, and Pages doesn't support it at all. If you do academic documents, citations might be important. Word does a great job at it. Word will let you export and send your document to Kindle by email. Kindles give you an email account so that if you want to send a document to your Kindle and read it on your Kindle, they have some very extensive image editing tools, and they have over 900 add-ins. These are additional software applications that have been developed by third parties other than Microsoft that give your Word application additional capabilities, things like diagramming, editing, formatting, other tools that you might want to consider using. So many people choose Word because of one of these reasons or others. And Word has a couple of other features that are kind of nice to have in it as well. They give you a stock image library with a Microsoft 365 subscription. They do have a tool called Read Aloud that's right in the menu bar or the toolbar. They have an editor that's an AI editing tool for 365 subscribers. If you use Word for the web, you can upload an audio file and it will transcribe the audio file into text. They have a premium version of Word that they're starting to release to business clients, but it includes Copilot AI built into Word. That's Copilot is Microsoft's terminology for their AI tool. And it also has a really nice focus view if you just want to have everything off your screen and have the entire screen taken up by the document so you can focus on creating a document. Okay, Apple Pages. Apple Pages is really strong in media. Apple's focus is a little bit around designing very attractive, good-looking, graphically appealing documents. And so they all have templates, but the templates look a little bit different from one to the other. Apple lets you embed music files in a Pages document. They let you embed video in a Pages document. They let you embed audio in a Pages document. They let you animate in a Pages document. And then Apple has a online bookstore. They have an online bookstore called Apple Books, and they have a built-in one-click export to Apple Books, and you can upload a book and sell it on Apple Books. Amazon's Kindle is a popular bookstore, but Apple Pages is also a place where a lot of people publish their documents. And so you can sell books and export books to Apple Books with it, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything to do. Now, Google Docs has one of the things is great about it is autosave to Google Drive. They have an interesting tool called real-time collaboration. The others support it, but it's really simple to do in Google Docs. So collaboration is two people working on the same document. So if I send Detlef a document and Carl and Carol and Bill, and I give it all, and you all have this access to the same document in Word, in Pages, and in Docs, everybody can make changes to it, and then those changes will be reflected in the document. It's possible to do real-time collaboration, although it's a little bit clumsier with the exception of Google Docs. And I actually have two Google accounts, and I'll show you two screens, two browsers, and I'll show you as one person types, the typing shows up right away in the document. It doesn't wait for any synchronization to take place. So it's what's called real-time collaboration, and Google Docs does it better than anybody else. They have a lot of extensions. They have 300 extensions, which is nothing to sneeze at. But they don't have quite as many as Word, but they're very, very extensive. And they have a lot of K through 12 resources. Google is very big in the K through 12 education market, particularly with Chromebooks. They have a whole suite of educational products. And so Google Docs has a lot of resources that are available for educators in that space. And then they also have an upgrade that you can get for Google. If you upgrade to a Workspace account, you do get a workspace AI tool that's available in your Google Apps. They're incorporating AI into it that way. How do you choose? Well, I would recommend, what ecosystem do you use the most? Probably has a lot to do with it. Or the thing is, you may have learned something from another job or occupation or skill or something like that. And the thing is, you saw all the features they do that are really common. So it's only a very few exceptions that would be a reason for saying, well, this word processor won't do this. It probably will. There's a 99% chance it will. Maybe you create complex documents. Are you writing PhD, papers? Are you submitting documents for scientific journals? Do you need to create an index for your documents? That might be something that's a factor. Are you creating legal documents, for example? Or do you need to work with others? Are you working in an environment where you do work or have a club or an organization where things are shared between people and they use a common type of format? So you might end up learning one or two a little bit, but maybe you primarily use one. But the more you can learn to use one, the easier it's going to be able to keep up to date with it. I'm actually using two different accounts. You can see by my profile icon that I'm a different picture. So that means I'm using two different accounts. So if I go to the one on the right, it shows me Bob Cohen Bobology. It has a little pop-up. So I can click on this and I can enter something, and you can see on the left, it immediately is doing that. So if I say, I'd like to talk about this first, okay, and it immediately updates the document on my other account. So if you can have, as far as I know, there's not a limit to how many people you can have collaborate on this, but it is possible to have real-time updates. So you can see, if I cut this out, you can see how it's highlighted it on the other side already. Or if I click from here and I say, gee, I'd like to delete this, it's highlighted it there, and I can hit my delete key and it's deleted right away. So it's possible for two people to work on the same document immediately and see that real-time collaboration. That's one of the things that Google emphasizes in their capabilities, is that collaboration capability. There are extensions that exist for Google. You can make comments, so you can insert comments here. I'm the shared person. So if I make a comment about this paragraph and I enter the comment, it'll show up in the other side. You can see the comment showed up, and it's my picture from my other account that made it. I can indicate that I want to give something an emoticon, a happy face or something on that space, and it'll insert a happy face. So there's a column view that shows comments on a document as well. So it's possible for people to do a lot of collaboration on these types of documents with Google Docs. All of them support commenting, editing, keeping track of who makes the edit, other things like that. But as the document owner, you have the final say on what happens, okay? And you can reply to comments between people. Collaboration is kind of an interesting tool to use if you share things with other people. There are tools like extensions here. All of your Google navigation tools are going to be within the browser window. It tells you, obviously, last edit. You can join Google Meet. That's one of the integrations they have right away. So you can file. And if you want to make it available offline, you would click this make available offline function. You can translate it, print it. Now, Google Print works better in Chrome. So if you do a Google Print in Chrome, it brings up the Google Print menu. If you try and print in any other web browser, you're going to have to download the file and print it from your local computer. So that's one of the ways they keep you using Chrome. You've got formatting tools for columns here. More options are available: headers, footers, page numbers, for aligning, indentation. Tremendous a number of tools for word translating, accessibility, extensions. Give you the ability to go to their add-on library, which has a tremendous, there's over 300 add-ons that are available for different things you can use on Google, and a lot of educational ones as well, but things like being able to print Avery labels. You can get an add-in for citations. You can write math, do all kinds of things. And so just a tremendous number of tools, and most of them are free, but some of them might have a subscription. And of course, all your standard formatting tools are available here if you want. Google's done a lot of work to bring up Google Docs to a very substantial capability compared to Word, but there are some things with complex documents that Word does better still. Okay. What I've got is my Apple Pages open, okay? And I didn't title the document. I just created something. And so I copied and pasted it. And along the top navigation, you'll see a few things. You'll see chart. And one of the things that Apple does is they give you some more graphically designed, appealing, artistic styles for charts and graphs, and even interactive ones where you can give people the ability. So you can see some of their focus is on style and design. They give you a great shape library that's available for using different types of symbols, food, nature, that are great for people to annotate and do a lot of things with, that are part of their symbol library. It's a great tool. And they all have templates. Apple's templates will be a little more artistically designed, and they have something called media. Okay, so if you want to insert photos or videos, you could do that. I'm going to actually move my cursor down to the bottom here. I'm going to try some media tools. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to take a photo with my iPhone and insert it here. Now you see my phone and my Pages document. So if I go to media, I have an option here. It says Bob's iPhone in gray. I can take a photo. What happens on my phone? It opens up the camera. I'm going to take a selfie. I'm going to say use photo, and it inserts the photo in Pages.